I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals for Wednesday, July 23rd at 7:30 PM. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mr. Green.
I'm here.
Mr. Perry is absent. Mr. Lindsay.
Present.
Mr. Clift.
Present.
Mr. Watts.
Here.
Mr. Assessor.
Present.
Mr. Jersey's present. Mr. Nestorovich.
Present.
Present. Chairman Safaya is absent. I'd like to make a motion to excuse Chairman Safaya and Mr. Perry.
Support.
Okay. All in favor of excusing Mr. Safaya and Mr. Perry?
Aye.
Takes us to adoption of the agenda. So before we do the adoption of the agenda, since we are two individuals down, I just want to make any petitioners the offer, if you wanted to be heard by a full board about rescheduling, if you so wish, you need to basically have a majority of 5 votes in the affirmative for all items except for the last one, which is item number 13, which is a use variance. You would need 6 votes. So if anybody would want to reschedule to the next meeting, you're welcome to approach and tell us now. Otherwise, we can proceed as is also. Not seeing it, anyone wanting to reschedule, then I'd like to, next is approval of the adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Hold on, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the agenda as written.
Support. I thought I just did that.
No, he can't. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
That's right. That's really nice. That was me.
All in favor of adopting the agenda?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed?
That was me.
Okay. Takes us to item number 5, approval of the minutes of the regular meetings of June 11th, 25th, and July 9th.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr.
I
Clift?
reviewed the 11th and the 25th. I haven't seen the 9th. Am I correct? They're not out yet?
That's correct.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the minutes of the regular meetings for June 11th and June 25th.
Support.
Support.
So I have a motion by Mr. Clift, support by Mr. Jersey to adopt the minutes of the June 11th and June 25th meetings. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. And then regarding July 9th, which has not come out yet, do we have a motion to reschedule that to our,
Mr.
Mr.
Chair,
Chairman, make a motion to table approval of minutes for July 9th until the next regular meeting, provided they're published.
Support.
okay, so we have a motion to table the July 9th minutes to our next scheduled meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Those will be tabled. Takes us to item number 6.
Item 6, applicant Jeffrey and Jessica St. Andre, Representative Jeffrey and Jessica St. Andre, common description 4436 Buchanan. Variance requested permission to construct a 12-foot by 16-foot, 192 square foot sunroom not placed against any other accessory structure in addition to an existing 19-foot by 30-foot, 570 square foot detached garage for a total of 762 square feet of accessory structure floor area.
Okay, so if you could start with your name and address for the record, and then explain your request to us.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay. Good evening. My name is Jeffrey St. Andre. I live at 4436 Buchanan Avenue, Warren, Port 8092.
Okay, and then your request today? Okay, I'm not hearing, is your mic light on, or?
Oh, there it is, yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Bit louder now, sorry. So I'm requesting a variance on, I think it's 56 square feet for the sunroom. It's actually replacing a deck that was there, that it's been destroyed. The previous deck was 16 by 14, and the room is slightly smaller. When I bought the house, the garage was already there. I didn't actually make the garage or nothing like that, so the previous homeowner had already put the one-car addition onto it, so.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the audience wishing to speak on this item? Not seeing any other comments, I'll close the public portion and turn it over to the board for discussion.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Watts?
So the other one is, you said, how what size was the deck?
The original deck was 16 by 14,
So this is 12 by 16.
12 by 16, so it's a little bit smaller, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I really don't have no problem with this, so if anybody else.
Just a quick question to petitioner. It looks like it's gonna be out of the sight, out of the line of sight.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yes,
so-
in the
okay.
backyard,
Yeah,
yeah, nobody can
okay.
see it.
Yeah, I don't see anything else that stands out with this. Unless anybody else has anything else to say, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to grant the petitioner permission to construct a 12-foot by 16-foot, 192 square foot sunroom not placed against any other accessory structure in addition to an existing 19-foot by 30-foot, 570 square foot detached garage for a total of 762 square feet of accessory floor structure, floor area, due to the fact that size and shape of the lot and it's not a detriment to the area.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Jersey, support by Mr. Cliff to approve the petitioner's request for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Jersey votes yes for the reasons stated in the motion. Mr. Cliff?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Green?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Watts?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Lindsay?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Sesser?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
And Chairman Stovich?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion. Your request is approved.
Thank you very much.
Okay, takes us to item 7. Applicant St. Anne's Catholic Church, Representative Reverend Adam Nowak. Common description, 32,000 mound. Variance is requested permission to conduct the annual parish festival on church property during the following days. 1, September 19th, 2025, Friday from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. 2, September 20th, 2025, Saturday from noon to 11 p.m. 3, September 21st, 2025, Sunday from noon to 10 p.m.
If you want to start with your name and address for the record, and then what your request is.
Yes, because of a change in assignments, I am not Father Adam Nowak. My name is Father Derek Peterman, and I'm the new pastor at St. Anne's. That's really the only correction we have to the petition.
In your address.
Pardon?
Need your address, too.
Address 32,000 Mound Road. Yes.
Okay. And then your request today? Just,
Ken Matei, 36331 Duke Court, Clinton Township. The request is to hold the St. Anne's Festival on September 19th, 20th, and 21st. Friday that would be the 19th, 5 o'clock until 11 o'clock, Saturday 12 noon till 11 o'clock, and Sunday 12 noon till 9:30.
okay. Okay, thank you for that description. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the audience wishing to speak on this item? Not seeing any, I will close the public portion of the meeting and turn it over to the board for discussion. I just wanted to just ask one question, because, you know, in past years, we always add that condition that the music is to stop playing by 10 o'clock. Just want to make sure that's still okay with everybody.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Green.
I have one condition also, that any signage be taken down within the appropriate ordinance amount of time. So these signs that they put up for these festivals and stuff, sometimes are left out for quite a long time, so I would appreciate if that would be something that you could mention to your people and make sure the signs are down. I think it's 14 days, I don't know what it is, it's something, but in a reasonable amount of time. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if nobody else has anything else to add, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, Mr. Jersey.
I'd like to make a motion to grant permission to conduct the annual parish festival on church property on September 19th, 2025 Friday from 5 PM to 11 PM, September 20th, 2025, Saturday from noon to 11 PM. 3, September 21st, 2025, Sunday from noon to 10 PM, with the condition the music be shut off 1 hour prior to closing hours each of those days, due to the fact of it's not a detriment to the area and it needs this board's approval.
Support.
So we have a motion by Mr. Jersey, support by Mr. Susser, to approve the request for reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Jersey votes yes for a reason stated in the motion. Mr. Assessor.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Clift.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Green.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Watts.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Lindsay.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
And Chairman Nestorovich.
Yes, for reasons stated in the motion, your request is approved.
Thank you very much.
Okay, item number 8.
Item 8, applicant Mike Shahaba, Representative Marvin Steiner, common description 4415 8 Mile Building B. Variance is requested permission to allow sales of secondhand appliances to within 105 feet from residential zoned property.
And that's me. I'm Marvin Steiner, the architect for Mike Shaba. The
And your address,
tenant
please.
is here tonight, Angelo. He's sitting in the audience. You have questions for him. So we're looking for a use
Can we have your
variance.
address also, please, for the
I'm sorry?
record?
Oh, 15735 Norwich Road in Livonia, 48154. So we're requesting, go ahead, ready? We're requesting a use variance to have a second-hand appliance store on the subject site. The site has 4 units currently. One of them is an auto repair. The other is a granite shop. There's a third was a storage building, and the fourth would be the second-hand appliance store. The site is located, I guess, less than the 500 feet from the R1 and R1P zones, which is why we need the use variance. I would point out that the only reason we need this is for the second-hand goods, that if these were new appliances, there would be no variance and we could sell them there. And I would suggest that there's not a whole lot of difference between selling used appliances and selling new appliances. The site is not conducive to someone like Best Buy or ABC to come in and sell new appliances, but it is a small site and it is conducive to the second-hand goods. Looking at the definition of second-hand goods, it starts off saying it's you cannot second-hand goods, any person selling or purchasing or selling or exchanging second-hand articles of any kind, and then it goes on to list scrap metals, cast iron, old steel, tool steel, aluminum, copper, brass, lead pipe, etc. And so it would seem to me that that was the emphasis of this particular ordinance, that they're concerned about selling scrap metals, and we fall into the receiving articles of any kind, which I guess could be anything that was sold, that was used. In the M2 zone, where this property is in the M2 zone, we would be allowed, and I'll just point these out, and you're probably aware of them anyway, any kind of commercial business, an automatic screw machine, stamping machines, punch presses, press brakes, hydraulic presses, a certain amount of noise and smoke that's measured by a bunch of things I won't go into, odors, gases, and glare, bulk storage of flammable items below ground, open storage other than junk, marijuana businesses, and a few others. So there's a lot of things that would be allowed that if you start looking at them, it doesn't seem like the secondhand appliances would really be any more detrimental than either the uses that are already there or the uses that we could have. As I'm reading the ordinance, there are 5 criteria that you are to judge the request on whether this is an unnecessary hardship. The first one, the property cannot be used as zoned. We lose on that one, and we could use it for something else. We've had the property vacant for over a year and have not been able to find anybody that wanted to use it for something else. It is an older building. It's on 8 Mile. It's a bit hard to get to. There are no, second item is there's the self-imposed conditions. We didn't impose any of the conditions, the condition being the residential being less than 500 feet away. However, it was discoverable by the owner, and we did discover it, and that's why we're here tonight. Is the property unique? It is somewhat unique in that it's small, and there's only certain uses that can fit in that particular unit. And as I said before, we've been trying to rent that for over a year, and Angela come up and wants to rent it and sell secondhand residential appliances, dishwashers, refrigerators, microwaves, etc. He has another store currently in a Mexican town that's doing well, and he's looking to expand. The big thing that I think we score well on is that this is not a detriment. I don't see how this could be any more of a detriment than either new appliances or the many other uses that I've listed, or the 3 uses that are currently on the site. There's an adage that people say when you buy a new car from a new car dealer, and as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's a used car. And I think that would apply to appliances, that if you buy a new appliance and you take it off and put it in your truck or your car, that becomes a used appliance. So we're just one step away from new appliances. And lastly, is the variance necessary? I don't know. We've been looking for a tenant for a year and a half and haven't found one. We might find one tomorrow. We might never find another one. So I think we have a good fit with the used appliances. I don't think this is a detriment of any kind, and I think it could be a bonus to the community. There are a lot of people that maybe can't afford new appliances or don't want to spend the money for them, and these are used appliances in good working condition that otherwise might be in a landfill. So there's an ecological factor involved. So I'm hoping this is a good fit for the community and that you'll all side with me. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Are there any members of the audience wishing to speak on this item? Not seeing any, I'll close the public portion of the meeting and turn it over to the board for discussion.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Clifton, Mr. Green? First. Oh, Mr. Watts, was that you?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Watts?
Put me in the lineup too.
So I got a couple questions. I'm gonna address the first one to Mr. Waterpoint. The question is, I'm looking at this, is this a use variance or a variance?
This is a dimensional variance. I know he referenced use variance a couple times, but it's a dimensional variance because the sale of secondhand goods, as defined, has to be a certain distance away from different things. So it's not a use variance, it's a dimensional variance because of that distance.
Does that still follow the property forever?
That would follow the property forever.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Green?
So my second question, and I don't know if you can answer this or not, but they're gonna be selling used appliances. I'm very familiar with the area. I'm very familiar with a lot of things going on in 8 Mile. Is this gonna have appliances sitting outside the building, like for sale, or is it strictly gonna be placed inside the building?
I believe they're entirely inside of the building? Okay, yes. Yeah, we have no place really outside to put them.
That's something, Mr. Watchpoint, that's something that we would deal with.
But
they
that's
did it.
something we would enforce, and if you wanted to make it even stronger for enforcement, you can make it a condition of the request also at that point in time.
All right, thank you, appreciate it. Okay, I have nothing further.
Mr. Green?
First of all, I didn't say it before, but I got about 80 stitches in my head, so I'm wearing a hat. It's pretty inappropriate for a meeting, so I apologize. My first question is, are you doing repair in the building? Are you gonna repair appliances and then sell them, or are you getting appliances that are already repaired?
Angela's getting appliances from other sources, from a wholesaler, and he may make some minor repairs.
Right.
Lights, clean them up, polish them, things like that, but it's not really a repair center.
Got it.
I'll-
So I
I'll-
did drive by the property, and maybe I got a little confused on it, maybe because I got so many stitches in my head. But, so is it the building that's right next to the open part, the grass?
We don't have the map. It's,
Well,
I
he
can-
was,
I can show you
no,
that.
I
if you-
have it, but
I-
you said there was 4 buildings.
There's no 4 tenants, there are 2 buildings actually.
So it's one, the building is 4415, it's one building.
Correct.
It's 2 buildings, oh, is it?
Well, it's one address,
The one
Okay,
address.
That's
four,
right.
four suites.
I have-
And
I
the
have-
other,
like to see it?
the other buildings, who's in there? You said it once already. Are they shops, retail shops, or?
Yeah, there's a building that fronts directly on 8 Mile Road, and that building, one of these is where we'd like to have the used appliances, and then the other half of that is currently an auto repair building, auto repair use. Then there's a building to the further north, I'm sorry, and that's divided in 2. Half of that is the granite fabrication, and the other half is storage for the granite fabrication.
So is there, and that leads to my question, so it's gonna be a place where you sell stuff. Is there parking that's existing?
The parking meets the ordinance, yes.
Okay, that was my only question, thank you.
Mr. Cliff, you said you had a question?
Yes, sir, to the petitioner. Are we already operating at that facility? There's, looked to be some merchandise in that building. The last time I was by there, I haven't been by there lately, but,
The other 3 uses are operating.
okay,
So there's 2 buildings, 1 site, 4 spaces, and 3 of them are occupied.
okay. Because the last time I was by there, I seen some washers and dryers and stuff.
Hmm.
And they're actually showing up on the Google Maps picture
go ahead.
just after Gleaners went in next door. So-
Mr. Cliff, if I could answer that?
Yes, sir.
From zoning inspection wise, we went out there. The intent was that he was gonna sell newer stuff here.
Gotcha.
Then
Okay.
it came to the conclusion that it wasn't gonna sell well, and then he wanted to change the use. So we continued with our inspections and went from there and had him come get the variance.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to echo my colleague, Mr. Watts, that I don't think we want to see a bunch of stuff out in front there on the sidewalk for display or whatever. But other than that concern and these type of operations tend to breed unsightly outside storage somewhere on the property or adjacent to it or on the lot next door. And I just want to reiterate that, that's not really allowed with that operation. I got no beef with it. I have no problem with it. I'm welcoming the gentleman to do business in our town on 8 Mile expanding in. But I just want to make sure to reiterate that we want to keep it neat in appearance. There's a brand-new building right next door that went in. I think he's going to do well there, actually. So with that, I'll yield the floor.
Mr. Chair, real quick.
Yes, Mr. Jersey?
To Steve, I have a quick question. So since this property's divvied up into 4 said condominiums, if we grant the variance on building B, does it still carry through the whole property, all 4 of them? Or we have to segregate it based off of just building B, kind of like how the auto repair place was?
You could segregate it, otherwise it goes with the land as a whole, so you could segregate it to that suite.
Because one thing, I'm
Most,
looking at.
most places that are subdivided have separate addresses where these have suite numbers, so
Right.
if it
So-
was a separate address, we'd tie it to that one.
So I know building A and C look like they're occupied. Is building D occupied?
Building D has storage in it. I believe it is occupied and gone through the CFC process.
So that's a separate entity altogether?
It might be combined with the granite at this
So
point.
my concern, like, looking at this is, okay, if he gets a ton of appliances, now he's got building D available, are we gonna find appliances starting to stack up in building D unnecessarily? If that's still occupied,
It would have to go through the certificate of compliance portion of it, and it not being connected, it would then be, probably need to come, indoor storage would be allowed in M2, right? That's what we're at.
It is,
Yeah.
M2, yes.
So it would be allowed there, but it would have to go through the inspection process again.
And if I could suggest something, I think if it did expand into some of the other spaces, that would be a good thing, because you have fewer uses.
Oh, yeah,
and
for him,
that-
he's making money, yeah.
That would mean,
But
well,
yeah,
he's
I
making
agree.
money,
I
but
mean,
it also means he's successful, and it is something that.
The one
community
concern I have,
is using.
I know it meets the zoning requirements, but the parking there. I mean, if the shop gets busy and how many you got? One, two.
The parking meets the ordinance.
But it's only,
I'm looking at like 7 or 8 parking
Yeah, it's not
spots
very
there.
Well, no, there's a total of 30, I think, 32 for the 4 uses.
Oh, for all, well, if you're combining all 4,
Yes.
well then, yeah. Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
slippery slope though.
There's that lot in back that's a parking lot.
Gotcha.
Mr. Chair,
I have nothing further.
Yes, Mr. Watts?
if there's nothing else, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Okay. Go ahead.
To approve a variance to allow sales of secondhand appliances to within 105 feet from residential zone property with no outside display of appliances or merchandise.
Any reasons?
I guess I think it would be good for the area. I don't see where it's a detriment. I do see where it would be a detriment if we wind up with outside display, so I'm good with this. I think it would be good for the area.
Do you want to maybe add size and shape of the lot also, perhaps?
Pardon me?
Size and shape of the lot?
Sure. Shape, size, with the size and shape of the lot.
Support.
So, yeah, a motion by Mr. Watts, support by Mr. Jersey, to approve the request for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Watts.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Jersey votes yes for the reasons stated in the motion. Mr. Clift.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Green.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Lindsay.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Assessor.
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Chairman Ostovich.
Yes, for reasons stated in the motion. Your request has been approved.
Thank you.
Takes us to item 9, applicant 13 Hoover BP LLC, Namir Castaw, Representative Brandon Castaw, common description 11610, 13 mile. Variance is requested permission to, 1, waive 5 required parking spaces, 2, allow parking spaces 20 feet in length along a property line, 3, allow parking in the front setback to the property lines along 13 mile and to Hoover, 4, retain existing non-conforming maneuvering lanes adjacent to gas pumps.
Good evening, Brandon Casta, 42384 Beechwood Drive, Sterling Heights, Michigan, 48314. With me is Imad Putris, he's the architect for the project. We're here today requesting 4 non-use variances in connection with the proposed project. The project has already gone in front of the Planning Commission and has gotten conditional approval. The applicant is expanding the existing 2,239 square foot building by approximately 2,153 square feet for a total of 4,392 square feet. The site will continue to operate as a gas station convenience store, and we're adding a carry-out restaurant component in addition to additional space for stock and storage. There are 6 criteria that the board is to consider when deciding whether or not to grant the motion, and I believe that the applicant does meet the 6 criteria. First, the unreasonable burden or impact. If they are required to fully comply with the ordinance, they would have to significantly reduce the building size or eliminate key elements like pedestrian access, landscaping, or circulation areas. This would make the site less functional, and ultimately impact the whole purpose of the project. The need for the variance is not self-imposed. The property has 2 canopies that house the gas pumping dispensers that have been there since a very long time. I mean, I pulled up a picture from, I think, 1970, and the underground lines for the gas dispensers were there at that time. So it's something that was not caused by the current property owner or even the previous owners, to my knowledge. The property is unique. You know, the parcel is a standard 150 by 150 square, but given the layout, I don't think it is standard. The gas dispensers, canopy structures, and drive aisles take up significant space and leave us with little flexibility for reconfiguration. We don't believe that the granting of these variances will have a negative detriment to nearby properties. We're improving the property's appearance by a lot, I think, and the usefulness, and it doesn't block any air, light, or any visibility issues. The need for the variances is not personal or economic. You know, we're asking for this because the way that the site is laid out currently, I mean, there's really not much that we can do in terms to get up to code with what we're asking. Lastly, the variances, I believe them to be necessary to allow a reasonable use of the property for its permitted purpose, consistent with neighboring businesses, given the fixed site constraints. So, all that said, we think that we're bringing a benefit to the city and to the community. You know, the applicant is always seeking to improve and keep up with the times, and that's the exact purpose for our request for these variances.
Okay, thank you for that presentation. This is the public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this item? Not seeing any, I'll close the public portion and turn it over to the board for discussion.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Jersey.
So I love how you ended that with keeping up with the times, which brings me to my lead-in. You know, we're starting to see more and more these gas stations with multi-use situations. An extra carry-out place or an extra, you know, more, you know, liquor, gas. I just don't see, I mean, with the way our ordinances are structured, there's nothing really to prevent us from multi-use situations like this in gas stations and other areas going forward, which, you know, we've spoken numerous meetings. This is just another kind of situation where we got antiquated, steal Mr. Cliff's adjective over there, his favorite adjective, antiquated ordinances to go with the times. Not saying you're right, wrong, or indifferent, but to me, I live in that area. I live at 13 Hoover, and that site, to me, already is kind of packed in with what you have going on. And now to add another carryout element, and then you're waiving 5 parking spots to boot, I don't know if that's gonna be, to me that's detrimental. And to me, it's also speaks to the economic point of it. You're not putting in just a carryout place not make money. So it does become an economic thing. It is an economic component to this expansion at that point. Because you want to, you know, obviously maximize your, you know, profits on your property, which is understandable. It's right as an American, right? So, but there's just ways that in certain areas where I just don't see it, you know, I think it would be successful, but I just think that parcel of land, I just don't see how it doesn't become more congested than it already is. You know, if the takeout place takes off and, you know, I mean, if it's, say you have the perfect storm, everybody's in there at once, you got great gas prices, you know, obviously you're gonna have this ebb and flow of traffic coming in and out. Not everything's gonna be locked up at one time, but people do hang out at gas stations a little bit longer, checking texts or doing God knows what else, and, you know, finishing an email. But it just, to me, I think it lends to congestion on that site. And I think that also we need to try to address as a city, with either council or something about multi-use facets to places like this. And you're not immune to it. I mean, it's other gas stations all over Warren. So, you know, I can't fault the business owner for saying, hey, he's doing it there, why can't I do it here? So I understand that as well. But given just, I kind of go with each individual parcel based off parcel location and all that. And I just think that that site itself would be just too congested. So I'm kind of on the fence right now, and I'll just leave it at that.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Green.
So I'll piggyback on that because we had discussed this earlier. The answer is, these ordinances have to get more specific. These are mixed-use facilities, they're not gas stations anymore. There are some gas stations still, but they become mixed-use facilities. And our ordinances, whatever your word is, Mr. Cliff, they're just not, they're not catching up with what's going on. And I think there should be a specific ordinance written for gas station mixed-use facilities. And it should be specific to those, and then start from there, because what you're saying is true. It's doing apples and oranges, and before you know it, it gets a little out of control. I have another question that deals with the site plan. So, in the original backup, it says no outside sales, no outside storage. And that's been an issue with a lot of these mixed-use gas stations. And it says you're not gonna have mixed or outside sales or outside storage. But when you go to the site plan, it says all outdoor retail sales of items shall be prohibited on the site. But many gas stations have these type of sales. If the petitioner plans to do this in the future, then the outdoor sales site plan minor amendment would need to be submitted to the planning commission. So I got a procedural question. So if they, because it sounds like they want to have outside storage if you read it for face value. So if they say no outside storage, and then they go back for a minor amendment to planning, and planning approves a minor amendment, does it come back to us then? Or do we have to, see, that seems to, you see where I'm because it sounds like, and I look at the backup, it says no outside sales and no outside storage, but if you look at the comments from the site plan backup, it says, if the petitioner plans to do this in the future, then it has to go back for a minor amendment, and it would have to be submitted to planning. So, I question whether, I wonder, Mr. Waterpon, does that have to come back to us then if they do that? Or do we
It
need to make?
depends on what it is that they're asking for. If it was firewood on their sidewalk area, probably not.
See,
If
that's
it
where
was propane tank on that sidewalk area, probably not.
That's where this gets mixed up, and that's why there needs to be a specific mixed-use ordinance for this kind of stuff, because it almost looks like they're circumventing the procedure. And then if you look at what they're asking for, they're asking to waive 5 parking spaces. And then in the backup, if you read in the site plan backup, it says, well, the additional square footage would increase the parking requirement for the site. So we're reducing the existing, the math is hard to do if you're not, on site plans, if you're not familiar with them, but, so we're reducing the amount of parking spaces right now and saying there's gonna be no outside sales or storage. And then in the next backup, it says they might ask for that, and then if they do, it's gonna create a parking issue. So is it gonna be designed where there can be extra parking, or you get where I'm coming with this?
I think I follow you a little bit. I know with the addition, they are not going into any current parking spots there. It's basically used like an alley right now to drive around the building.
But they're waiving 5.
They're waiving 5 because of the addition. The city of Warren, we don't count parking at the pump sites also, which has been a big contention in the past.
What's that mean? Oh, at the actual site? for
At the
pump.
actual pump sites. How many of us have gone to the pump, went inside and bought stuff type of deal? So I know it's not counted, so it's there, it's spots that are used unofficially, but we don't officially count that.
So I would
The
say.
other thing, if you wanted to put the condition
That's what I think they'll say.
of if they have outdoor sales, that it has to come back before the zoning board, I believe you can do that. It would be a condition
We
of
can.
the use, and they would be changing that at that point in time.
And I see the frustration with people but the argument that everybody else does it is not one of the criteria that we use. And it's frustrating even for, business people, because you can't drive by a gas station that's have wood, paper, you know, all that stuff out in front of it. But that, I would be more likely to vote for this if the motion maker would put a condition that there is no outside storage or outside sales. But I do have a concern about the, you know, that. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Clift.
So it sounds like tonight parking spaces are kind of a contention, so I'm gonna float this idea and see if maybe you've already addressed it. And I'm familiar with the area and I'm familiar with the store, and I know how busy things get over there. Have we explored a shared parking agreement?
We have not, but we are friendly with the neighboring neighboring shopping center that's located just south and east of the
So-
center. We've already actually been in discussion with them to get a reciprocal access agreement for there's a little drive aisle that the parking lots are shared, so I don't see
So
an
you're
issue
halfway
with
there, right?
Yeah.
You know, that some of that ironworks around the perimeter coming down and maybe formulating something where it's a little more convenient for people to park on your neighbor's lot while accessing your business under a SPA. I think that would maybe address some of the parking issues that we're kind of talking about here tonight, and it might take some pressure off of some of the other things that are being discussed as well. And I didn't know if you maybe explored that and they turned you down. That's why I asked the question, because as it sits before me, I'm with some of my colleagues, I'm a little bit on the fence here, but that's worked in other areas of the city for folks and streamlining some processes and making things a little bit easier for us to judge. So maybe a discussion on that front with a revisit, some different photographs or pictures or renderings of an idea. I'm just throwing things out there. And I hate people that park at the pump and go shopping. And at this location especially, that, you know, that's bad news. But, I like everybody else I like to see expansion and I like to see business grow. It's just that when you're confined to such a small area, I didn't do the math. What was the total floor square footage being added to the building?
Total square footage being added is
Yeah.
2,153.
Yeah.
Total, like, sales floor being added is about 100 square feet. So, I mean, we're adding about 500 square feet of backroom storage, an
Right.
office, a kitchen, a beer cave. I mean, really, the sales space is not gonna increase drastically at all. And I would just like to point out one thing that Steve pointed out earlier. There's parking located currently to the south of the building that the only people that park there, they're loitering, God knows what they're doing. I mean, we're eliminating that, gonna turn that into the enclosed trash refuge container. And again, they're abusing our trash container right now as it is. So that's gonna be enclosed, it's gonna be a loading zone. I did some research on this. There was an NACS study from 2019 that actually said that 44% of customers that go into the store do park at the pumps. So, I mean, though the city doesn't consider it technically, I mean, the reality is most people are parking at the pumps and then going inside. And even now, I mean, we're closing a couple of the entrances at the intersection. I think the one on Hoover, if I'm not mistaken. And we're adding parking there for employee parking. So,
I just wanted to throw it out. I just wanted to
Yeah,
throw
no.
that out there to see if you would explore
no, and we'd definitely be open to
explored
working
that or not.
around that.
Yeah, basically, them spots behind your building, if the employee's not parking there, nobody's parking there, that's patronizing your business. I understand that. But at the end of the day, to me, it doesn't sit well when you're making such a drastic increase to the footprint. Because every square foot you build on, there's a purpose for that. And the purpose is to bring more business, bring more customers into your store. And people are gonna be doing it anyway, parking over there on the adjacent, so before your neighbor gets upset about things like that happening,
Right.
approaching it on the front end might be a good answer, so
Right.
I guess I'll yield the floor with that.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jersey?
So real quick, we forgot to read the impact statement from the planning department, which found no impact to the budding local or general public on this item. But one other thing I wanted to mention to people who might not be familiar with that site, I'm thinking the 5 spots he wants to waive are probably the back far right corner, and nothing has ever been used in that corner. It's been absolutely, I think the last thing that was there was like a pile of tires. I mean, about as far back to the 80s, I can remember that. He didn't even park, I think he may have parked like cars that he was repairing, because there used to be a repair garage. But he even put those like in the front, so it's basically been used for nothing. So it's kind of dead space, so it's kind of nice to see you putting it to use. But again, you raise a good point, Mr. Clift, about the shared parking with the neighbor. And nobody ever parks over there. I mean, so it would be probably nice to get that agreement, especially since you're gonna close off that one driveway, because people are just gonna be coming that way anyway. They're gonna probably be coming through that strip mall, trying to get to your facility, because it's easier in and out that way. But I feel a little better with this. But yeah, I think a good point would be to talk to the neighbor about the additional parking, that it's gonna happen, so. But I'll yield the floor at that point.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Watts?
So I'm gonna kind of go off and, I got a few things here. So you feel it's not self-imposed. I feel it's self-imposed. You bought a property that's undersized for what you want to do. Now, probably being one of the older guys up here, I remember when there was a gas station on all 4 corners. And those corners were those were built to be 2 bay gas stations with service. Those corners were not designed to be these humongous beer stores, party stores, you name it. And every place is turning into this. Now, I happen to know that I think we have another one on the agenda tonight right across the street, and I'm pretty sure we have another one coming kitty corner across the street. And I don't have any problem with business at all, but I just think that, having been a business owner, that we have to be a little wiser about picking our property for what we want to do. You know, and I think this is like overbuilding a piece of property there for what you want to do. You got that shopping center there, and, you know, I get it. If you can get parking there, I'm okay with that. But I just think this is just way too much for the property. You know, I have a problem waiving stuff, period. I mean, I do it all the time, but I have a problem with that. And then I'm wondering if I might have a question for Mr. Watchpoint. Retain existing non-conforming maneuvering lanes. Should we be waiving letting a non-conforming use stay? Is that wise?
Basically, when it's non-conforming, it stays with the property unless there's a change. Since they're making the change, that's why they need to either waive it or bring it into conformity. And the maneuvering lanes are around the pumps and the person at the pumps. It's supposed to have a 22-foot maneuvering lane with the car there. So basically you're looking for 35 feet or something. Unless you do it as one-way traffic, which brings it down to 15 feet. So that's part of the reason for it. I think many gas stations in the city of Warren are probably non-conforming in this area.
You're probably right thinking about it. All right, thank you. I'm all set.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Green?
this is very frustrating. I'm sure it's frustrating for you, and it's frustrating for me, and I don't speak for the rest of the board, but we're just spinning our wheels on these gas station stuff. Gas stations are whatever, the mixed-use facilities now are at a point where in order to compete and stay alive, they've got to become mixed-use facilities. It's just the nature of the game. And the oversizing or whatever, I mean, gas stations go on corners. I mean, it's pretty specific. I mean, they don't go in residential areas, so it's frustrating. And again, the frustrating part is, we need to take some action. And for example, outside sales and storage. Everybody's doing it, and they're doing it because they can. That's why they're doing it. And like Mr. Waterpont just said, they could, in theory, and I can't speak for what your intention is, come back and ask for outside sales and outside storage, and site plan would approve what they refer to as a minor adjustment of site plan, and it would just happen. Then we'd drive by it a year from now and say, I thought, you know, there was no outside storage. So I think as a part of this motion, or we should do a separate motion, we should direct the city attorney's office to begin a procedure where they look at other communities, see if there's separate mixed-use types of ordinances for gas stations. Because we're all getting we're all at a disadvantage. We're at a disadvantage, and you're at a disadvantage. And you have to compete, because if you put a gas station with 4 pumps up there, you're out of business in a month, because you don't make your money on gas. So I think we need to take some actions and ask, at least for the city attorney's office, or whatever the procedure might be, to take a look at other communities and see if they have what I refer to as mixed-use ordinances that are specific for gas stations. And then when we do these procedures, we can take that right out and plug it into the new ordinance that applies to them. And then we're not up here questioning all this stuff, because we're at a disadvantage and you're at a disadvantage. So I would hope that the motion maker, I would ask the motion maker, we can either do a separate motion or what, is just direct the city attorney's office to begin the process of, I don't know how you do it, but investigating other communities, or I could defer the floor to you.
So the thing is, like, not one ordinance isn't gonna apply universally. Oh, I'm sorry. One ordinance applying to the mixed-use gas stations isn't gonna apply universally, and there's still gonna be specifics as far as, you know, space and sizing and stuff like that. And so ultimately, I think they would end up coming back here anyways.
No, they would be here, but
Right.
for us, we would have, maybe not communicate myself well. For example,
Looking for parameters to go off.
For example, our next item is a signage item, and our ordinance says 40 square feet. Okay, what are we doing, guys? I mean, gas stations aren't doing 40 square feet, and it's not gonna happen, but we take that ordinance and plug it into the gas station one as an example. So I'm not looking for like immediate action, but maybe if someone's, you know, there's gotta be other communities that do this, I'm thinking. So I would just ask that if we made our motion that we could direct the city attorney's office to at least within the next couple of months, look at it and come back and say, you're off base, we can't do it because of this, or we found some ordinances and here they are, and let us take a look at them.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna note that, and I will have the office look into it.
So, or we're just gonna be doing this all the time. And eventually, we're gonna end up, you know, in court. That's all there is, that's all.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Watts, just give me one second. I wanted to actually reply to Mr. Green on one thing. See, the key point is a number of years ago, maybe it was 2 years ago, that when we talked with city council, they were supposed to address, and we were supposed to look at all of our ordinances about updating them. Nothing's happened with that yet. But that's really what we need to do, is because city council needs to
Well,
make the
the
direction of.
administration needs to talk the talk and walk the walk.
I know.
If they want the city to get cleaned up, then they need to clean it up. And they need to be consistent with people. We can't, as a city, be putting businesses at disadvantages when they come up here, because that's exactly, and this is a perfect example. We're putting this guy at a disadvantage. Because we really can't say for sure what, you know, what our direction is, because our direction is, what's the word, Mr. Cliff? It's archaic? Antiquated. It's antiquated. I mean, our next item that comes up, the criteria is 40 square feet of signage. I mean, it's not even close to what the reality of the world is.
Mr.
So-
Chair,
Yes, Mr. Cliff?
so I try to be objective when I read this stuff, and the vast majority of our ordinances are archaic and way out of date. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that, or else our workload wouldn't be as heavy on this board. 40 square feet for signage, they want 5,000. It's a no-brainer.
That's my point.
But as a body, trying to affect change on that, you got two choices. You go along to get along, or you start denying stuff. Until the business community outcries about it, and then people are forced to make some adaptations and changes. I've been sitting on this board since, what, 21, 22? And I've been talking about this for 4 or 5 years. I haven't seen anything change. Anything.
Well, then I guess I'm not a rocket scientist.
But going back to what I was saying, I looked at it objectively. The gentleman comes back, I can support his project. He comes back before this board with a shared parking agreement. I'm seeing 25 spots. He ain't gotta worry about canceling off free. He comes back with a shared parking agreement. He's in excess by 10 or 12.
Right. We have one on our agenda.
And on paper, it looks fine. And
So my
in my
point-
conscience, I'm good with it.
I guess my point is, so we're gonna deny this guy when we've approved 10 other ones in the last year, and it's not making any sense. So we can start with one ordinance.
Well, I'm not wanting to deny him. I just said I couldn't get behind it.
You understand what I'm saying? know.
Yeah, I get it.
But we gotta start somewhere, and we need to start taking the administration to task on this. Talk the talk, walk the
Fair
walk.
point.
If you
It's a
want the
fair
city to
point.
look like a dump, tell us. Then we'll sit
However-
up here and take the ordinances and go like this and look at it and say,
I just try to
denied.
present compromises
Denied,
to the
approved.
petitioner
But
that
these
makes me
ordinances
feel
for
better.
gas stations are so far off that it's ridiculous. So that's why I wanna make a motion, and I get where you're coming from, I get it. I wanna make a motion that we direct the city attorney's office to start with this particular one and see where they can go for it. And then maybe they'll come back to us, I doubt it, maybe they'll come back to us and say nobody's interested in this. And then when they do, we can come back, and say, sorry, buddy, you're not getting approval, because nobody in the city is interested in it. And then what happens is people take their businesses to Sterling Heights. I mean, that's the name of the game, so we're shooting ourselves in the foot.
I think our first step on the line that you're talking about, Mr. Green, is to request the secretary through the chair to send a letter stating such to the legal department and to council. Sitting here talking about it isn't gonna do anything.
If we make a motion as a board,
Well,
Mr. Chair?
what's that mean? Wait a
all
second.
I wanted to say is, I wanted to reiterate the point that we understand that we're working with out-of-date and archaic ordinances, but we've got a business owner who's trying to expand his business, increase his revenue. He's improving the building, he's sinking a lot of money into his project. I could get behind it. He comes to us and says, I got a shared parking agreement, now I don't need to waive these spaces because I have 15 extra. And I don't know about the rest of you guys, I'm happy and he's happy. If he's willing to make the adjustments and willing to accept us tabling this to a future date, which I believe that they are. He's shaking his head about ready to come off his neck over
Well,
there.
I'm in support,
You know.
I'm voting yes, I'm in support
But
of this.
I fully hear what you're saying, but I'm just saying as a board on items, I don't think it's our place to really, we can put our little shots in. It's an archaic thing, I vote no.
Wait a second, wait, I'm not gonna get a piss and match with you on it. It's not our place as the zoning board to sit up here and see
Well, not by discussion of
a
petitioner's
disservice
action.
being done and ask the city attorney to look into it?
No, we could do that just fine. I say requesting the secretary through the chair to send the appropriate letter to the appropriate departments.
Who writes the ordinances?
The council
The city
approves
attorney's
those.
office.
The council.
The city attorney's office writes the ordinances.
Mr. Chair. Well, council does.
Yeah.
Council doesn't write an ordinance.
This board does not have the authority to motion the city attorney's
Yeah.
office to do something.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
I yield.
Say it again so that, can you repeat that for the microphone so it's caught?
This board in particular doesn't have the authority to make a motion to, like, ask our office to do something specifically with regard to the ordinance.
Really?
By motion at this hearing?
Really? Interesting to
Correct,
know.
yeah, it's not through the administration,
This
it's through
board does not
council.
have the authority to direct the city attorney's office to take a look at ordinances. Interesting.
Correct.
That answers a lot of questions. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Watts, did you have something, and then?
Yeah. So, having been on council, we talked about this. Unfortunately, last 4 years on council, we were pretty busy dealing with a lot of things. And we wanted to deal with this. Well, here we are, 2 years into the new council, and nothing's done yet. And that's where it has to come from. It has to come from the council table to the city administration to push this through. Now, I may disagree a little bit with Ms. City Attorney, which is okay. I don't see, and we can cover it later on the agenda, but I don't see a problem with sending a letter to council and the administration telling them, hey, we got a problem. This stuff needs to be addressed. I don't have a problem with that. But on the other half of the coin, I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. We're dealing with properties that were sized to be a 2-bay gas station. They weren't sized to be 15 different things in one building. And that's becoming a problem. You try to get in and out of some of these places. I personally don't go to any of them because I'm not gonna get run over, I'm not gonna get my car all scraped up, and I'd rather go to other places. But I don't know how we can keep going. And I mean, I agree with my colleague, Mr. Green. In fact, I agree with almost everything that was said here. But there's a lot of problems with this, and we're not gonna solve it tonight, but this needs to be resolved, period. So, I'm all set, thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Jersey.
If nobody else has anything to say, I'd like to make a motion to postpone this item to August 13th to give the petitioner time to come back before this board with a shared parking agreement with the neighbor. I think that seems to be the sticking point with most members here. And then also, if you're open to outside sales and storage, needs to come back to, before the ZBA for approval if you wanted to do that. So those would be my two things in the motion. You know, first, the main thing is getting the shared parking agreement for the August 13th meeting. So I make a motion to postpone item 9 till the August 13th meeting. Give the petitioner time to provide us with a shared parking agreement from the neighbor.
Point of order before the vote.
Sure.
Steve, can you come up to the podium, please? So looking at what we're discussing here this evening on that SPA, in reviewing the request, am I correct in assuming that it's gonna eliminate item number 1, item number 2, and item number 3?
It will
Shared
not
parking agreement?
eliminate item 2 because the property line still would be the property line even if they have permission outside of there. Number
Okay.
3, that's where the parking, the employee parking area is now, so that, I believe, would still stay unless they move that away from there as well. But I
I
don't
guess it
think
would
there
be the revised site plan then that would dictate that, right?
if they wanted to, they would need more parking on the neighbors to get rid of that.
Okay. I just wanted to run that through to show that we're going from 4 to 2, maybe even 1. Okay, thank you. I yield the floor.
So we had a motion, but we need a support still on that?
I'll support it.
So we have a motion by Mr. Jersey, support by Mr. Clift, to table the item to the August meeting.
Postpone the item till August 13th meeting. Mr. Jersey votes yes for the reasons stated in the motion. Mr. Clift?
Yes, I vote yes for a reason stated in the motion.
Mr. Assessor?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Green?
No.
Mr. Watts?
No, for the reason, no. I
Mr.
think it's a detriment.
Mr. Lindsay?
No, I don't think that's gonna change my mind. My big issue is gonna be, parking along 13 Mile and Hoover. So I think it's a detriment to the area, and not necessary.
Chairman Estovich?
I vote yes for the reasons stated in the motion.
4-3.
It's 4-3. And that, didn't get the,
May I address something that was mention? Do I have the floor
One
to
moment.
speak?
One moment, because there wasn't a question directed, so.
Yeah, this is just the postpone, yeah. So it's just a postpone, it's not to grant a variance, so it should.
This is the postpone 4-3, fine to pass it. This is not granting the variance?
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Hold
that's
on.
what I wanted.
Mr. Green?
I'm gonna change my vote to yes to postpone.
So it gives us 5-2.
Okay.
That gets us there.
Mr. Secretary?
August 13th, sir.
Did somebody have a question for Mr. Waterpont, or?
I don't, I think it's postponed till August 13th.
I came up and asked the petitioner if the 13th worked for him, because I don't think you guys asked if the 13th
Oh.
worked, and he said yes, so.
Sorry about that.
Make myself
Try,
available.
try to make it as sooner rather than later, so, okay, so
Okay, that's, so this item's been postponed to August 13th. And hopefully that'll give you enough time for a shared parking agreement.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next item, item 10, applicant Basil Construction, Representative Sarah Meissen, common description 4090 at 9 Mile. Variance is requested permission to retain new signage as follows. 1, 85.95 square feet of wall signage on canopy and 7.94 square feet of wall signage on building for a total of 93.89 square feet of wall signage. 2, 278.75 square feet of design element on the canopy. 3, 92.92 feet of 6.5-inch high light bar on the canopy. 4, 11.50 square feet of painted design element per column on 4 canopy columns for a total of 46 square feet. 5, 46.2 square feet of signage per gas pump on 3 pumps for a total of 138.66 square feet. Total of 557.30 square feet of wall signage and 92.92 feet of 6.5-inch light bar.
The petitioner present? Okay, I'm not seeing any petitioner. Do we want to reschedule this to end of the meeting, or to give him? Or just reschedule to August?
I know she's usually at every meeting. I know she has 3 items and only 2 of them before today. I don't know if she thought they would all be on the same meeting or what. But I know she's usually pretty consistently here. Even if it's 3 consecutive meetings, she's been here before, so.
Make a motion to postpone till August 13th.
Support.
We have a motion by Mr. Jersey, support by Mr. Lindsay to postpone this to August 13th.
Can we have discussion before we vote?
I think there's a motion on the floor.
Well, there's a motion and support. We need to take the vote on it.
Update myself on the rules.
So do we want to do roll call, or do we
Just all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
I'm opposed too. You know my feeling on, if they're not here, I think we should just
Okay.
move on and do our deed.
But it's 5-2, yeah, so this item is postponed to August 13th.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question now?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. With this as an example, and I, not to be specific, but this is an example of, when we get back to this gas station thing, so the sign ordinance says 40 square feet. So we had so I went back and looked, we have multiple examples of people that comes to us, they're making a rebranding, or they're changing something, and if you look at the backup, they've already received variances for 500, 600 square feet of signage. And then they come back and they rebrand, and they're asking for another 500. So is it in addition to the previous variance that we approved, because that doesn't go away?
We usually try to do it as a new sign package. I don't write them all up. I know we tried to ask to rescind any wall signage because they will come in separate, ground signs and wall signs. I know the board has been receptive to all that. They've done that. I usually will ask that if I see it. I don't always see it. As a board member, if you see it, point it out and go from there as well.
So in theory, on, for example, with this other particular item I looked at, we've approved like 20,000 square feet of signage because it never goes away.
If it's not rescinded, correct.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
I would suggest that the secretary not read everything into the motion, into the thing for this next one, because she's still not here, so.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Next item.
Next item is item 11. Applicant Basil Construction, Representative Sarah Meissen, comment description 1155 13 mile. Seeing as the petitioner's not here, I'd like to make a motion to reschedule to August 13th.
Support.
So we have a motion by Mr. Jersey, supported by Mr. Lindsay to postpone this item to August 13th. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
No.
No.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, so 4-3, but it is postponed.
4-3.
Mhm.
This is the item 11. It's 12. So this is item 12. Item 12, applicant Josh Braxton, Agree Development, Representative Mandy Goss, comment description 32983 Ryan. Variance is requested permission to install the following signage. A, 74.69 inches by 86.38 inches, 49.03 square feet wall sign on the north elevation of the building, items A1 and A2. 2, 8 inches by 59 inches, 3.27 square feet of wall sign on the north elevation of the building, item E. 3, a 8-inch by 59-inch, 3.27 square foot wall sign on the south elevation of the building, item E. 4, 104.56 inches by 84 inches, 61 square feet, 61 square foot wall sign on the east elevation of the building, item A3. 5, a 104.56 inch by 84 inch, 61 square foot wall sign on the west elevation of the building. 6, a 34 inch by 26 inch, 6.14 square foot wall sign on the east elevation of the canopy. 7, a 136 inch by 26 inch, 24.56 square foot wall sign on the north elevation of the canopy. 8, a 376 foot by 36 inch, 1,128 square feet of design element on the canopy. 9, a ground sign 20 feet high with 61.38 inches by 118.5 inches, 50.51 square feet of signage on each to within 5 feet of the north property line. 10, a second ground sign 20 feet high with 61.38 inch by 118.5 inches, 50.51 square feet of signage on each to within 5 feet of the east property line. 11, 4 gas pumps with 37.81 square feet of signage each, and 2 gas pumps with 36.08 square feet of signage each, for a total of 223.40 square feet of pump signage. 12, 2 directional signs that are 15 inches by 20 inches, 2.08 square feet, for a total of 4.16 square feet of directional signs. Wall signage variances requested include 208.27 square feet of wall signage, 1,128 square feet of design element, 223.40 square feet of pump signage, for an overall total of 1,559.67 square feet of wall signage. Ground signage variance requested include 2 pylon signs with 50.51 square feet each of signage, and 2 directional signs with 2.08 square feet of each signage, for a total of 105.18 square feet of ground signage.
Okay, if you could start with your name and address for the record, and then take us through your proposal.
Yes. Mandy Goss, CESO, address is 13060 South US Highway 27, Suite B in DeWitt, Michigan, 48820. It's always so hard not to do your home address. Thank you again for having us here tonight for another Speedway gas station that is, this one is located at the northwest corner of East 14 Mile Road and Ryan Road. And what we're requesting here this evening, again, your ordinance only allows 40 square feet for the canopy and wall signage combined. And then it also requires a variance for the decorative striping that is on the canopy. So I know some of these numbers do seem large, but it is, again, for the design elements. So what we're requesting tonight is for a Speedway logo sign over the front door with the Speedway channel letters. We do not show a sign over the rear door since it's not very visible to the public. It's not really, so it just will have the little welcome sign. I'm sorry, it doesn't have the Speedway sign. It just has a little welcome sign. It is still allow entrance on that rear door, but it just is a small welcome sign above that door. We are showing two Speedway channel letter signs on each side of the building. And then one logo, S-logo sign on the end of the canopy and a Speedway channel letter sign on the front of the canopy. That those would be visible to the motorists as well, so that from the roadway. The request for the signage for the pylon sign, we are proposing one pylon sign adjacent to each driveway instead of at the corner. Sometimes at the corner they're hard to see because they're on an angle and they're not as visible to both directions. It kind of makes it hard to see unless you're right up on it. So the request is to have one separate pylon at each driveway entrance. The driveways are as far from the intersection as possible, except for the minor exception. The county did require the one on 14 Mile to be aligned with the driveway across the street. So it's not quite as far. We shifted it slightly towards the intersection so that it aligns with that business across the street for maneuverability. Just wanted to point that out since it's shifting slightly. With the request for the two pylons, I know the existing site does have multiple variances on it. We obviously would waive all the old variances currently there in place for our new sign package for this development specifically. For example, the Rite Aid does have a variance to have two monument signs, and there are two existing monument signs on that site. And they have a variance for two monument signs, 9 feet tall, both 50.75 square feet, which ours is similar in size. Ours is 50 square feet as well. And within no less than 10 feet from the roadway property lines. So just to kind of point out that there are existing sign variances in place for the Rite Aid to have two signs. There's also additional sign variances for Black Angus, this goes way back, and then also for sign art. So again, we would obviously say clean it up, the books, eliminate all those old variances, and we're requesting one variance tonight for the sign package in front of you. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Great. Thank you very much for that presentation. This is a public hearing. Are there any members of the audience wishing to speak on this item? Not seeing any. I'll close the public portion and turn it over to the board for discussion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Watts.
this is basically the same thing as you presented for the Grospec property, correct?
Yeah, very similar. This one, we don't have the rear building sign, but this one we do have two pylon signs. They're both Speedway specifically. On the other one, if you remember, we had the corner sign was for the apartment. That one, because Frazo Road does not have as much traffic, we didn't feel the necessity for a separate Speedway sign at that location. So this one, due to the fact that there's a lot of traffic on both roadways, we feel it's important to have those the signs near the driveways just for, visibility. People know where to go to get into the site. It helps drive traffic. It is, 5 lanes and 6 lanes within that area, depending on which road you're on. So it's very important for the vehicles to see the sign, be able to maneuver into the lane, and enter the site safely.
I really don't have any problem with this at all because it's standard for what we've been doing with the other Speedway, basically the Sheetz locations. And this is really a piece of property that can handle the kind of volume that's going to be in there. It just makes sense. They're not overbuilding. Currently it's a Rite Aid. We've been around here long enough. It used to be Ryan Roadhouse. It was really good food back in the day. But it's a big piece of property. I think it's gonna be an asset to the corner. And I appreciate you showing up tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Lindsay.
I just have one quick question, ma'am. I agree. This looks very similar to the one we just approved, so I have no issues. But if you could refresh my memory, the canopy striping is not illuminated, right?
No, we do
Just
have the
the
gray
logo.
canopy striping on
Okay.
the fascia of the canopy.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I'm in favor of this.
Any other questions, discussion, or any motions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Clift.
can you clear up for me what a light bar is?
I don't have any light bars on my request.
Yours doesn't?
Nope.
I didn't see one here.
That
the
was
one
on the
earlier.
previous request, I
Oh,
believe.
it's stuck on my glasses. All right, I yield the floor. Apologies.
No worries.
Any other discussion or any motions?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, Mr. Jersey.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the petitioner permission to, I'd like to grant the petitioner the variances requested as read initially in the motion, initially in the opening statement. And also add to that to waive all current existing variances on that property. Rescind, I'm sorry, thank you for that fancy word, appreciate it. So rescind all of current variances on that property due to the fact of the size and shape of the lot, and it's also not a detriment to the area.
Support.
So we have a motion by Mr. Jersey, supported by Mr. Assessor to request, to approve the petitioner's request for the reasons stated in motion.
Mr. Jersey votes yes for the reasons stated in the motion. Mr. Assessor?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Clift?
Nope, too excessive.
Mr. Green?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Watts?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
Mr. Lindsay?
Yes, for the reasons stated in the motion.
And Chairman Storovich?
Yes, for reasons stated in motion. Your request has been approved.
Thank you.
Takes us to item 13. Applicant Abdullah Al Safi, Representative Lance Seba, common description 3914 mile. You adjourning or what?
No, it fell.
Variance is requested permission to, 1, allow a drive-in restaurant in a C1 zoning district, that's a use. 2, waive the requirement of a chain link fence to completely enclose the use.
If you could start with your name and address and then explain your request.
3900 14 mile.
And your name?
Peter Franci, and this is Abdullah Yusufi.
Yes.
Okay. And your request today?
The request is to variance allow drive-through restaurant in a C1 zone district use and waive the requirement of a chainless fence.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Are there members of the audience wishing to speak on this item? Not seeing any. I'll close the public portion and turn it over to the board for discussion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Watts.
I was over there yesterday, so I have a few questions. You're gonna use the existing building, correct?
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Be nice to get that corner in full operation. So, here's my question. The property to the south, behind the building, is a vacant piece of land. Do you own that?
Yes.
You own that grass area in that, way in the back?
We own the back area, yes, behind the building. Only the grass area, not the other building.
Right, but he owns the grass area all the way back to wherever it
The
ends there.
grass, and there's like a little pond in the middle of the grass, yes. No, there is no.
Okay. So if my memory serves me correctly, on the west side, there was a concrete or brick mortar wall on part of that. I couldn't see totally through. I think there might have been a chain link fence inside all the hedges that were there. And what do they, so where do you want to eliminate the fence at?
Which fence?
Well, it says you want to waive the requirement to a chain link fence. Where is a chain link fence?
We're not changing the fence, we're just gonna put the fence on the garbage area. When we're gonna build in the garbage area, we was gonna be in the corner.
So I hope I could probably add some clarity to this, Mr. Watts. It's another antiquated ordinance that we deal with, where every drive-through that comes before us, whether it's a drive-through restaurant, drive-through coffee shop, has the chain link fence requirement attached to it, because it's supposed to, it's actually in the code, or in the ordinance, for a chain link fence to be around a drive-through restaurant. So every time something like this has come before us in the past, I know there's a couple of members up here that have seen that it's just kind of like it's never there, put it to you that way.
To expand on that, the ordinance says completely surround the property, which would mean fencing all the way around the front as well, chain link. I believe this was written back in the 60s for drive-through restaurants which weren't as prevalent as they are now, because they were afraid of all the trash and debris that would grow there. At least it would be caught on the fencing.
Oh, okay, so that helps. That helps significantly. Which brings me to another thing. I know it's not on here, but I'm gonna ask it because I don't wanna have to look at it or hear from people about it later on. The grassy area in the back, and you say there's a pond, and I noticed yesterday when we were there that there's a bunch of, I don't know what it was in the back corner, it looks like junk to me. Is that property gonna be maintained, the grass gonna be cut,
Yes.
paper picked up, and be well manicured?
I guess I want to tell you, we open high-end, it's gonna be high-end coffee shop in the area. We're gonna make sure, you know, we're gonna maintain it the right way for our customer. We wanna bring our customer to come and enjoy the place. We don't wanna be the garbage, you know, anywhere and stuff like that.
That's a correct answer, and a year from now, I hope to see that, so.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Chair, real quick, I'd like to read an impact statement from the planning department. From Ron Worth, he says there's no issues found to impact the abutting local or general public. And planning commission approval for a minor amendment with conditions for a building addition to the existing gas station with convenience store and carry-out restaurant on June 16th, 2025.
Mr. Chair?
I'm almost afraid to ask a question, but I'm gonna risk it. Where's it, I looked at the site, where's the dumpster gonna go? Where's the dumpster gonna go on that property?
Dumpster will be built it's in the plan, it will be built in the west side in the corner, in the west side, and we will be fences,
So-
you know, by self-separate.
Opposite of the residential,
Yes,
on the other side.
yes.
Right. And then it says there's gonna be an outdoor cafe,
Yes.
and I was curious about the music portion of it. So a lot of these outdoor cafes have, like, mood music or, you know, music playing.
Very soft.
And so
music,
I was
just-
concerned about how close the residents might be, so that would just be real quiet music, or?
We don't play any music in our places.
You don't?
We just play like maybe soft music with, you know, like we're not loud. We bring like a calm area. We want the people to come enjoy it. We don't want, you know, we have existing stores right now. We didn't allow any music.
You understand my concern, it's just a point of information.
Real quick question, if Mr. Green's done. What are your hours of operation for the new business?
Right now, in some areas, we open like between 8 and 10, but in the area here, because we have a drive-through, we maybe open like a little bit early, between 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning.
And what time you close?
We close like 10.
9, 10 every day?
Yes,
Okay. Working Sundays too, everything?
yes, we open Sundays.
Mr. Chair?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Lindsay?
I'm a little torn on this. I think a new coffee shop in the city of Warren is a good thing. I'm concerned about the drive-through traffic being right next to the residential house. I can imagine myself living there, 6 a.m., busy traffic, everybody's getting their coffee, horns honking. That's my concern. I'm on the fence on this one. I love the idea of a coffee shop. I'm concerned about the location. I yield.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Cliff?
Sir, what would preclude you from removing that dumpster from the same side that the residence is on to the other side where there's gonna be another business next door? Your plan shows it being on the southwest corner of your lot, adjacent to the residential property.
I guess we're not selling any like high-end food, you know, if we are, you know, our garbage will be like empty boxes. Basically, it's not gonna create any like, environmental issues or smell or anything like that, because we didn't serve any kind of food. You know, because we have a boxes, and in the same time, you know, it's gonna help us just for parking parking movers.
I guess with that, I'll yield the floor. Mr. Chair.
One second, Mr. Watts, I just want to add one comment, because I actually, looking at the plan, I agree with Mr. Cliff, because, you know, if it's on the east side of the property as opposed to the west side of the property is next to residential. The east side is actually next to the speedway. You know, and I think having the garbage enclosure next to another business such as the speedway would be better than having it next to the residential. That's my personal opinion.
So,
Because when they roll in there at 5 in the morning to dump that thing, I don't think them people are gonna be
So-
very enjoyable.
I agree.
I can hear phone calls ringing already.
that's my thought exactly. You're gonna put a dumpster over there, and honestly, I'm gonna say this, I don't know what planning was thinking. Because at 4 or 5, whatever time they come, I don't even care if it's even during the day. I wouldn't want that dumpster being shaked and rattled and rolled behind my house. That is unacceptable, and it's gonna be a problem in the future, so that needs to be moved. I don't know how we do that. Do we postpone this and send it back to planning? What do we do?
Well, if, Steve, can you approach the podium for a second? So if we
Very
wanted-
good question. I believe that would probably be the only thing is say that you want to postpone it because you don't like that location. And it'd be up to the petitioner to go back to planning and try to amend that plan to bring back another plan to you, if that was the board's concern. If you denied it, they wouldn't be able to come back at all. So to still give them that opportunity, postponement is probably the only thing.
So would that be a minor adjustment to a site plan that wouldn't come back?
The
to us?
site plan's still in process, so it's,
But it would be considered a minor adjustment.
I think
What
it
they
could be
consider
done
a minor
administratively with them, but I don't deal in that department, but
But it wouldn't come back to us.
Well, it would come back to
It
us
would
to
have to
approve
come
in the
back to us,
future.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because we'd be
because-
able to table it if we would not approve it.
If we postpone it, it's not approved, so they could come back and it's not a full denial. So-
One second. Is the dumpster being, is that what's subject of this variance? Because if not, you can't, like, order planning to do something, like, you have to decide on the variance that's in front of you.
the subject of the variance is actually the use of the
the use of the
drive-through
restaurant.
restaurant.
And that is what can be decided by the board.
So I guess we'll have to deny it.
Well, we got,
But
Sure.
the thing which I would think because see, I can tell you, I agree, it's the use that we're deciding. So the use of this as a drive-through restaurant. But if the fact that the board members don't like the dumpster location, that'll be a reason why I would vote no to deny.
Yeah,
And then they would not be able to come back if it's voted down.
well, that
Unless
site plan's
they-
already been
unless-
approved by plan, like, it's been approved, except for the variance that's being presented to the board this evening. Like, that's what is decided, is the variance. You can't send it back, even though the site plan, that has already been approved, and say, we don't like this, move it around
But-
otherwise. Like, that's just not,
but
I mean, you can attempt to, but that's just not, that's not proper.
But even if it sounded like, let's say that we might not approve this otherwise, wouldn't the petitioner have the right to go back to site plan to say, hey, maybe if I move this, then I would get approved?
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair.
Okay,
So
Mr. Green,
So
then
based
Mr.
on
Watts.
that recommendation, we should deny the petitioner.
They can't.
And, Well, we should, based on that, we should deny the petitioner, make him go back through the site plan process and come back with the dumpster in the right place.
But if we deny him, he can't come back.
Well,
Mr. Chair,
how,
Mr.
what
Watts.
would be,
According to planning, it is in the right place, though. That's why it's not subject of the variance.
Mr. Watts, you had a comment?
so,
I think you might want to hear the petitioner's opinion on it first.
let me ask a couple of questions.
Okay.
Let me ask a couple questions. Now, so to the petitioner, do you have a problem moving that dumpster to the other side of the
We don't have
property?
any problem to relocate it because it's not built yet.
Pardon me?
The garbage area is not being built. Basically, the plan is submitted to the city, is not approved. If we want us to relocate it, the garbage to the other side, in the left side, we don't mind.
Okay, so that was the answer to that.
Yeah.
And then the second thing, and I don't know if this is fair or not, but I'm gonna ask it since the good people from the Speedway are here. Do we know where their dumpster's at? So, and here's the way this is here where I deal with our great city attorney. We're gonna head a problem off at the pass that somebody didn't catch. And by not doing anything about this, it's gonna save the city money in the future, because this is going to be a problem. Thank you.
Theirs would be located almost back to back if they moved theirs.
Yes.
Gee, that makes so much sense. Okay.
so then where does this agreed combined drive-through go? Is it the same, is this the one where they got an agreement with Speedway?
No.
No.
Which one is that?
So, in that case, I mean,
Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm gonna make a motion. So I'm gonna make a motion. I'm gonna grant permission to allow a drive-through restaurant in a C1 zoning district and on the premise, and to waive the requirement of the chain link fence to completely enclose the use. If the petitioner, with the petitioner being agreeable to moving the dumpster location to it would be the southeast corner of the property.
The northeast corner.
Northeast, correct. Or no, southeast, yeah, southeast, yeah, yes. To the southeast corner of the property,
Of the parking lot.
of the parking lot. Thank you.
Since that lot goes
I gotta take you on tour with me. So to reiterate, I'm gonna grant permission to, one, use and allow a drive-in restaurant in a C1 zoning district. Two, waive the requirement of a chain link fence to completely enclose the use, based off of the agreement with the petitioner that the petitioner is gonna move the dumpster enclosure from the current site plan, which has it at the southwest corner. The dumpster will be moved to the southeast corner, due to the fact, the size and shape of the lot, and not a detriment to the area.
Point of order before the vote.
yes,
Can we
Mr.
do
Cliff? Point of,
The answer is no.
I think I would rather postpone and have them come back with a modified site plan that's more promising to get approval from this board. Because I don't think that motion would be binding on the petitioner.
Good point. I withdraw my motion.
I'd like to make a motion
yes,
to
Mr. Cliff?
postpone this item until, would August 13th be enough time for you to have a revised site plan?
Yes. But my question to you, we're gonna do the work. We're gonna have to go through the process for approval with you guys. I think if you give us the approval today, we're gonna go change the plan, and we're gonna do the work. We are professional people. We have a lot of business in the area. We're gonna do what we promise. This is like what we are doing.
I understand, sir, but our motion with the conditions is not binding on you.
You can approve us, please, sir, with the condition. We will do the work. If we didn't do it, you can have denied the
Once
approval.
again, are you willing to appear before the board with a revised site
Because, you know,
plan?
I'm going overseas
I
right
withdraw my
now,
motion.
you know.
I would second the motion. I agree that this needs to go back to planning. I would like to say that we have the right to say that, but I'll agree to disagree with the city attorney, because I do things like that. But this has to go back to them. You know, I appreciate you're willing to do that, but we can't do something that's gonna be non-binding and then wind up with a problem. And to be honest with you, I'm kinda disappointed that this didn't get caught. You know, so I don't know where you guys live, but I live in this city, and I was on council for 4 years, and I hear people complaining about dumpster slamming at 4 o'clock in the morning. And we don't want this happening, so we have to do it right. And I appreciate you wanting to do it right, but we have to do our end right and try to hurry up and get you back through it and get it done, so.
We don't have
like I
no
say,
issue
I
coming
support
back
it.
August the 13th. We will come back with a revised plan.
Just to be
So-
clear, this site plan has already been approved by planning. The only issue that should be decided by this board is whether or not a variance should be granted to forego the ordinance requirement that there's a fence around the perimeter. That's it. It's already been approved by planning. And so it's possible that he goes back and wants to change it and they say no, like they've already okayed everything. Just to be clear.
True, but if we don't, but the thing is that's true, but then based on that, I know I would vote no. And it's like, I'd rather be able to vote yes with the change.
Right, but
That's
is
why.
the dumpster a proper consideration when that's not the issue being presented before you? And it already has been
It's-
approved by
that
planning. What you
dumpster
guys
is-
are trying to do is order the planning department to amend a site plan that's already been approved. And that's just not the purpose of the zoning board of appeals. It's only to review requests for variances. Regardless of, you know, if you like it aesthetically or not.
Here's the way I see this.
Yes, Mr. Green, your microphone.
We've done this since I've been on the board, so maybe it's just, maybe we should just start denying.
In my opinion, we're presenting the petitioner with an option.
Right.
It's on. We're presenting the petitioner with an option because collectively as a board, we feel that there may have been an error that's gonna result in issues later on down the road.
Or denial.
Or they end up with a denial tonight. I don't wanna do that, but looking at the site plan, I'm not in favor of allowing the use variance based on how the site plan is set up. I think it's gonna be a detriment to the neighboring residents. May not seem like it now, but I've been in this business long enough to know that phone will start ringing about a week after them dumpsters start getting emptied at 4 o'clock in the morning. And all I want to do is present the petitioner with an opportunity to make a minor change that he's agreeable. We got a little argumentative there. That's why I withdrew my motion. Somebody else can make the motion now. I stated my case and tried to help him several times, and I understand where the attorney's absolutely coming from. But unfortunately, the way it looks like with the sentiment of the comments on the board, he's looking at a denial. We're trying to find some way to get him an approval, even if he has to delay for a couple of weeks. And we can't dictate the change. I don't feel comfortable with dictating the change in our motion because it's non-binding. The only thing we can do is postpone, let them come back and bring us something that everybody's agreeable to at the end of the day.
So everyone here right now is saying that, well, it sounds like the ones who have spoken up are saying that your variance approval is contingent upon moving the dumpster. That's already been approved by planning. That's just inappropriate, and it's ripe for litigation.
I disagree because I tend to look at it that, because I would say then having a restaurant there is a detriment to the neighborhood of having a drive-through restaurant, and then I would vote no against it. So
We're talking about a fence and a garbage can though, like a dumpster.
now we're allowing a drive-through restaurant in the C1 zoning district.
Mr. Chair.
That's the use.
Okay.
So then if that's the case, I know I would vote against it.
Mr. Chair.
And it's,
Well,
But,
that's
uh,
just your decision,
so-
but you're
yes,
not
I know.
making it contingent upon something you don't have the authority to change that's already been approved.
yes, but it sounds like that's something that
That's
would
why
actually
I-
switch people's opinions.
That's why I called a
because-
point of order to the secretary when he made that inappropriate motion.
Yes.
Mr. Watts, you had a comment?
So, here's where the problem is. We caught a problem. So we have a choice. We either postpone it and give him a chance to go to planning, and planning fix the problem. And if they don't fix the problem, it's gonna come back here, and I'll guarantee you one thing right now. I'm voting no. Period.
But the city attorney said we can't send it back to planning.
We could postpone it and,
So then we deny it. Then we deny it. We mess with the businessman that wants to turn a blighted piece of property into something that's gonna be good for the city. And unlike some people, I'm not gonna, yeah, I don't know who does or doesn't, but I know that us as a board, we all live here. And we have to fix these problems, and if people aren't catching them, then shame on them. I mean, I've been around the city long enough, I've been going to meetings since the 70s. And I can't tell you how many times this stuff slides through, and to her point, she goes, this is right, it could be ripe for a lawsuit. Well, guess what? That dumpster banging in my back window every morning at 4 o'clock is gonna be ripe for a lawsuit as well, because the city didn't do their job. And I'll be honest with you, I'm really fed up with this kind of stuff happening. The man's willing to do it. We can postpone it and send it back to planning, and we can solve the problem. I don't really see the big deal here. So, I'll make a motion to postpone it till August the 13th.
so we have a motion by Mr. Watts, and the support came from Mr. Clift to postpone to August 13th.
Mr. Watts? Or do
Yes.
you want to just do it all
No,
all in
I think we
favor?
should do a roll call, just
Roll call?
just to be on the safe side.
All right. Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Mr. Clift?
Yes to postpone.
Mr. Perry, or Mr. Assessor?
Yes, to postpone.
Mr. Lindsay?
No to postpone.
Mr. Green?
No.
Mr. Jersey votes yes to postpone. Chairman Stovich?
Yes to postpone. So it's postponed to August 13th, and it sounds like, based on the comments I heard up here, that, you know, you hear what majority of the board members up here are asking for, is for that site plan to be addressed in terms of the location of the dumpster. So then you're beyond the schedule for August 13th?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Item 14 is new business.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Green?
a couple questions under new business. Mr. Waterplant,
I'm busy.
do you have an update on that storage container at Sardelli Pools? I don't know if I can even ask that, but I'm gonna.
I talked to someone, an inspector that was out there yesterday or today, and I believe a ticket will be written, I believe it's up this week or beginning of next week, the compliance part of it, and I don't think we've heard anything, so.
So I guess my next question got answered today. So I had asked for a site plan, not a copy, a site plan of the 13 Mound area by a motion of the board, but I'm guessing we don't have that authority, so.
I do not have that authority. That would have to go through, as was
So
stated.
once again, we made a motion requesting something. So am I to assume that the reason we haven't got it is because,
I would have no idea the reason why you don't have it, because it is beyond my authority. It's something I do not have to give.
Steve, you have it because it was in our package originally somewhere along the line, the site plan for 13 and Mound. And I made a motion asking for it for governmental purposes. and that's legal as can be.
Um,
And I haven't heard anything, so I guess I'm just asking, so maybe maybe the answer.
Again,
Maybe the
I
answer.
would not, I cannot give out a
Right,
site
so
plan
maybe the- so-
because there is copyright rules and everything.
That's not true, so.
That has to go through.
So did we get an
Get a-
opinion from the city attorney's office on that when I asked for it, or no?
You would have to,
We made a motion.
basically, you can FOIA it, but we would not give out those without the
Wait,
property
no,
owner's
no, 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 no,
consent.
no, you gotta let-
That's
you need
how
to-
that's our
the
policy.
city
and we-
attorney's office and you need to update yourself on what the law is. Number one, we're not asking for copyrighted material, we're asking for an act, to look at the material, the copyright.
Again,
Anybody can come in your office.
I am not the
And anybody
administrator
else,
of this
anybody
board.
else, Steve, can come in here, and if you want, this site plan, they'll be in that bread basket with the 500 other ones that we've dumped in there. So I guess the reason I'm asking is because I'm trying to figure out what the scope of our authority is, so apparently we don't have that either.
I do not have that authority.
So when you were here when I asked it,
I still didn't have that authority then.
so
The
on the,
request
on the,
was
re-
sent-
on the record, we're being told that this body cannot
On
have
the
a
record,
co-
I believe you asked the city attorney to proceed, or the secretary to proceed through the attorney's
Right.
office on that, and I am not privy to any of that stuff.
Okay, you just answered my question. Thank you.
I want to clarify something for everybody too, is the planning department is currently working with a firm who is updating and reviewing and drafting the entire
my
zoning
thunder.
ordinance. Just so everyone knows, it is being updated, it's being because it's a huge job, it is being handled by an outside firm, and they're working on putting that together. So all of the outdated old things are in process of being addressed.
I am part of that review team, and I was gonna give that update. She stole my thunder.
Sorry, Steve.
But I guess that's where the frustration is that, so we don't have any input on that, apparently.
On
Well,
what?
we do this every week.
Yeah,
Uh,
no,
so-
it would go in front of planning has that authority. You do not. You have the authority to review variance requests exclusively for that subject matter, and that's it.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Watts.
So here's where I go off the edge. Here's where I go off the edge. I have a true belief that if variances are requested for a development, it doesn't fit the ordinance. Now, that would probably say that we didn't need a zoning board of appeals. But, and I guess I don't mind one or two variances. But when I get one that comes, and these signs are a little different, but again, that needs to be fixed. But when you get one that has 7 or 8 variances referred to us, I'm like, well, then it doesn't fit the ordinance. It doesn't belong there. And I can tell you, I watch the planning commission every 2 weeks. And I see the stuff that's gonna be coming to us, and I'm ready to lose my mind. Because this is not doing the city, the residents any favors at all. You know, at the end of the day, businessman comes here, he runs his business, and 99% of the time probably, the exit stage left and go home to wherever they live. And we're stuck with the mess. And I have a problem with that. I really have a problem with that. So, you know, at some point, and we were appointed to the ZBA to handle these things, to do the right thing for the city. They may not be, our decisions may not be popular sometimes, but if we make the wrong decision, it affects the whole city. That'll lead me into my next point. At the last meeting, we approved the cement, allowed cement for a half a front yard, because the guy lived on 13 Mile. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter where you live. Now, everybody in the city can cement their whole front yard. If they don't get their variance, guess where it's gonna go? We're gonna wind up in court, and it's gonna cost us money, and then our city's gonna look like trash. We really need to be careful here, because, I don't know about you guys, I'm committed, I'm a lifer here, I've been here all my life. And what I see today, me and Steve have these discussions, quite a bit, and other administrators, I'm tired of what I see. This is not the city I grew up in. We have a mess. We have an absolute mess. You know, and, you know, I feel bad for our city attorney. She got through under the bus tonight. We had some disagreements. But it's up to us to look out for our city. We have to do the right thing. And, you know, sometimes it's not gonna be popular. Sometimes their office is not gonna agree with us. And I can tell you, I've disagreed with the city attorney's office a lot of times, and there's a couple people over there probably hate my guts. But you know what? I live here, I gotta look at it, and I want it right. So, end of rant, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. Actually, see, it's like, I agree with you because, you know, I'm a lifer and I plan on staying in the city for a long time. And it's like, it sometimes saddens when I think that if there's folks that are looking at addressing all the various, like what our zoning ordinances are, and our board has no input into that. Because, you know, it's like, you take a look, it's like when you hire some outside firm, not the biggest fan of like, you know, consultants and stuff that always come in because they don't always make the best choices for the situation. But, you know, we can take a look. It's like we, as a board, you know, we address signage and all this. I can tell you, I've looked at other cities around us and their signage, you know, like, but I guess, you know, are looking at like the Royal Oaks, the Birminghams, the Troys.
Right.
And some of those. And it's like, I take a look, yeah, signage in Royal Oak is based on the square footage of the frontage of the building up to 100 square feet, unless you're on Woodward Avenue where you're allowed more. You know, because, and you know, they actually have those kind of, where it's not the same sign ordinance all throughout their city. Places like Royal Oak have different housing for single-family homes, standard lot, and they're large-size lots. You know, and they have various zoning based on.
Well, they're progressive.
Yeah, and it's like where we have one standard and we don't look into modernizing some of that. But the thing is like input from us. You know how many years ago I brought up the fencing around a fast food restaurant? That should have always been a simple, quick hit. No fast food restaurant is completely fenced in.
Right.
But our ordinance would say McDonald's needs to have a fence all the way around it, you know?
Right.
And see, and that's the thing, it's like, it shouldn't take to make some changes, but because by having overall taking a look at everything, it's a very large project. And, you know, it's sad that they can't sometimes go and tackle what are the issues that we see and the quick hits that you could do. I don't know, but.
I agree with you. And who better knows what the city should have is this board that's lived here all their life, most of us, and stuff. We know it all. Instead, they bring in a company from outside and they come up with this great plan. Well, again, they don't live here. They should get our input.
Mr.
So-
Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Clift.
so sometimes I come off a little pompous and raw, but I do this for a living on the outside. And I've had the pleasure and dismay of working in 6 different municipalities since I've been involved in code and zoning work. And that's why I say it's not rocket science, and when I say antiquated, man, I mean antiquated. Because I've been through Municode in no less than 6 different municipalities neighboring us, reading through, having to go do my job on the day-to-day, gets a little confusing. Sometimes I wish for them simple things like we have here on the books, but it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. And then let's talk about the education and the courses that I've been through. You know, no less than 7 hanging on the wall, and I'm still working on it. And the first thing every one of them ever tells me, and that I learn, is that this ought to be a 20-minute meeting no matter how many items are on that agenda, because most places don't grant variances. They adapt their ordinances to the way they want their community to be and react, and they don't have to go through numerous stages and have half-hour discussions about 3,000 feet of signage, or whatever the case may be. I don't want to pick on anybody in particular, but that's kind of gotten my craw lately. Ordinances and codes and zoning ordinances, it's all fluid. It should constantly be evolving and changing. And some places I've been, it's a little bit more of a rut than others. And now I'm in a municipality that's trying to make a comeback in their neighborhoods. You talk about a challenge and a battle. You go down and talk to people who haven't had to live by any rules for 30, 40 years and try to explain to them what's on the books now. And I'm gonna tell you, that's why it's all white, pal. But I enjoy my job and I love what I do and I enjoy sitting on this board and I enjoy making a difference in my community. And I voice my opinions to people in charge and members of council, and we've discussed these kinds of things. No feedback, no questions, no let's talk about it. I think it was, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were supposed to have
About
a
a year and a
combined
half, yeah.
panel or something. Something was supposed to start happening where they'd cherry pick a few and we'd get together in like a commission or a committee or something to talk. So that's where we're at. My premise is to help people get through what they need to get through, let them do what they want to kind of do with their property within reason based on the ordinances. Here, we have to bend over quite a bit. My first day on the job with the board, somebody got upset with me because I actually voted no on something. They turned to me and said, don't you know you're supposed to vote yes on everything that comes up here? I went, oh, it's that simple? Is that why we are what we are today? Because nobody said no, nobody thought through. And as a body, some of you guys are kind of new, but as a body, we were growing. Some of the old, well, there's only 3 of us here tonight that are old timers, I guess. But we were making adaptations and we were looking and we were reading. We weren't coming here just off of the fly of the cuff. I know several of us go out and actually maybe walk the properties or take a look and put an eyeball on it and see what's going on, because context matters. There's things I thought for sure, no way I'm gonna do that, and then I get there and I see what's happening, and I gotta go, well, maybe this does kind of make sense what's going on. And I know he hates concrete in front yards. I was good with that only because the guy did it 20 years ago, nobody said boo to him about it. So there's context in everything that we do. A fresh new one coming up, I'm probably not gonna like that idea too much. But that guy stood there and said, oh, I put that in 20 years ago when I first bought the house. And you could tell that he did, except for that one little patch that they took out. So it's a heavy responsibility, the weight that we carry. And I don't, for one, I don't think we get enough training collectively as a group. If you want to be good at stuff like this, you got to do a lot of reading on your own. You got to invest your own time to make yourself better at it. We learned a few things tonight. I was on ball with you, Mr. Green. Let's make some motions to get some information. It's out of our purview, I guess. That's the hardest thing to deal with when you want to do something that you know you can't. That you know you can't. But you can always, we can always request a letter from through the chair, from the secretary, to whoever we want to send a letter to, expressing our opinions, our feelings collectively, our questions, and put the onus on the body that put us in place to give us what we need in order to do our jobs effectively. It's as simple as that. So I think maybe we should have some discussion about those points, make a little list, and put things together and talk about what we might want to talk to. Jen made, she put together that great packet, that great book, and handed it to us all. I gotta use a magnifying glass to read it, but it's good. You know, it's good information, it's good material, and I thought we were maybe really turning a corner here about some background work and some training. But at the end of the day, it's on us. We have to go seek it out. We have to figure out what the best practices are, not only nationally, but internationally, because the big push now is for international codes. That's where the big thing's at. And a lot of them make good sense. Some of them are a little weird because, you know, we're not from there or whatever. But at the end of the day, they all stand for one thing: safety in your communities, sanctity in your communities, the welfare of the people living in your communities, and the health and effectiveness of the businesses within the community. That's what makes a successful community, a successful city. So I'm off of my soapbox. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Clift.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Wetterbound.
If I can add one thing, a question was asked about a light bar. I would like to describe that to you guys so you know what it is when it comes before you. If you look at, I'm going to say most of the BPs, the newer BPs, they got the green striping, the decorative design, and then right in the middle, I think, a 6-inch bar that lights up the whole thing. That is a light bar. Most of the sign contractors call it that. That's what we've deemed it in the variance request as well.
And that light bar is counted as like, as a decorative element, right?
That light bar is actually, we don't allow, prohibited sign is rope lighting and this and that, and that's exterior lighting there. So we classify that in that regard as a prohibited at this time.
So it's prohibited, so if it's on a request,
It-
we should
it-
keep that in mind that it's prohibited that if, before we approve something like that.
But that rope that rope lighting stuff also includes them goofy things you see around a lot of some of these smoke shops and car washes and everything else, outlining the windows, them LED
Yeah, the
strips.
windows can be 25% within the ordinance. The rope lighting around and ground sign is prohibited, and
Well, they popped up on some gas station
they
canopies
do
in town,
pop up
too.
here and there. We work 8:30 to 5, so we don't see them all the time
Right.
at night, except for the last week of December when it's dark all the time.
So now we
But-
kind of know what they are, but we have to figure out exactly what they are when people are asking for it. Whether it's the fabricated design element thing that goes on a
It will-
canopy.
The request that we write up will specifically say the light bar of this size, this
Okay.
6-inch light bar, however many feet, not a square footage on that.
Are you interested in working midnights?
Not midnights. Maybe afternoons once a week
You know, it's like, we should-
at double time.
That's like normally not allowed at all. It's not about this.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Support.
Support. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at